Well, good afternoon, folks. Welcome to another post. So today, I'm back on the beach. Look at that sky out there. Very stormy, but I don't think we'll get any rain out of it. Mid-spring here now, and I'm back to the sunglasses because, the intensity of the sunlight increases really rapidly here at this time of the year. So I find it really glary. I've always found strong sunlight really bad for me, and so apologies for the sunnies. I'm not a fan of sort of looking at people with sunnies on, but there we are. Have to do it sometimes. So today I thought I'd talk a bit about what really matters. And really this has come about because of just general society and watching things happen in the world. And there we go. I don't know if you can see it, but that's an old warbird, I think. The flights are going well today. It's the weekend here. It's the rock and roll weekend, so there are lots of people with their cars and their rock and roll dancing outfits, and it's very popular. A lot of people around today. It's the first big weekend and first really busy time of the year, I suppose, after coming out of winter for down here on the south coast. So I thought I'd talk a bit about what really matters. I got mosquitoes and things having a go at me. What really matters in life and what really matters in general, I suppose. I'm just thinking back to my 20s when, in your 20s things matter a bit differently to what they do in your 30s and your 40s. Once I got married, of course, my priorities changed, and what mattered to me then was the family and the kids and that kind of thing. I've never been a person to chase huge career moves and things like that. I've always just tended to find work and try to be reasonably happy and content doing what I'm doing, because really it's about experiencing life, again, as I've said before, what this channel's about, and just experiencing life and living life and being as sort of happy as you can be, I suppose, as I've said before. And I just see a lot of people, and more it seems these days, people running around, so busy. Busy's become the byword, hasn't it, of life kind of thing. And so busy chasing what I call them shiny boxes. So I mean things like, nice houses and cars and all the tech gadgets, the phones and all the gear that we sort of chase after. And as I've said a number of times before, don't get me wrong if I don't mind. I don't mind if somebody has a nice house or a nice car and that sort of thing. But it's when it becomes the thing that you're chasing, and I think for a lot of people subconsciously that's become the case. They've ended up chasing this idea of having to always get the latest gadget and the house, or the latest things in your house, and there's this ever sort of increasing, almost like a competition, it seems, and it seems like a very subconscious thing, but almost like a competition to want to sort of accumulate all this material things, which, let's face it, at the end of your life, it's not going to mean that much. It's just not going to mean anything. I see material objects as, sure, you can look at them and you can admire them and you can put love and attention into them and keep them nice, in good condition, whether you're talking about you've done up an old car, or you've got a new car, or you've bought the latest phone, or house, or whatever it is. There's nothing wrong with chasing these things per se, but if that becomes the main, if you're putting yourself in a position of having to mortgage yourself to the hilt and take out huge loans to support, to support buying these things and maintaining these things, and putting yourself, and I see a lot of families doing this, and not just families, of course, people in general, putting themselves through enormous stress, having to get second jobs, even third jobs in some cases, and restrict their lifestyles a lot just because they want to get the latest thing. Housing prices in Australia have increased enormously in the last 20 years, enormous, huge increases, and made it very difficult for people to get hold of a house. And so sometimes, in a sense, a lot of people have almost got to be, if you're in a relationship, two people have got to be working to support a mortgage almost these days, even a fairly average mortgage. And, don't even think about trying to buy a place in somewhere like Sydney. I'm glad I don't have to do it. But again, that is about choices, isn't it? That's choices that people make. But and you may think it's all right for me being a bit older, and I've raised kids and adult kids, and they've gone off and they're doing their things in the world now. And you may think that that's easy enough for me to say if you're younger and watching this. But I guess what I'm trying to say to you is it's not a case of trying to have a go at people or blaming. It's really a case of just having a look at what you're doing and really making clear choices about whether that super house that you've just bought or you want to buy is really going to do it for you. It's really going to bring you the happiness or the contentment you want. Does it really matter that much? I remember when I was first married in the first few years, and our house was pretty small, and I had big dreams. Let's put this big extension on the back and these nice windows to catch the north light and get lots of sunshine in. And when we looked at it, and we looked at it again and again and again, and we decided, you know what? It's just not really that important. And by the time we would have been able to afford it, the kids would have been pretty getting close to thinking about leaving home. So anyway, I've heard many stories about this. I guess it's about making choices in life too, isn't it? When I worked, I've worked in the city, and I've worked in situations where you've got to go to work in the traffic and all that sort of stuff, the rush hour. And what I used to do, I remember when I used to work in the cities, I made a specific choice, talked to my supervisor and organised to come into work about half an hour early. So I'd leave half an hour earlier, so I'd go to work half an hour earlier and leave half an hour earlier to avoid the traffic. Much to some of my colleagues' disgust, that they felt I was cheating and not doing a full day's work, and no matter how many times they were told that I started half an hour earlier than everybody else, they didn't like that. But I made the choice so I could have a better lifestyle, and so I wasn't sort of stuck in this rat race and chasing things. And that's not everybody's cup of tea. At the same place where I used to work, there used to be a guy who used to live about an hour away from the city, from the work site. And he used to complain every morning, I spend the whole hour of my life in traffic, and oh my God, I'll never get that hour back. And I used to say to him, well, look, make a different choice. Look for a job closer to home. If you're only renting, consider shifting closer to the work site and renting there. Make a choice. You've got to make a choice about these things rather than just complaining about them. So anyway, I've probably gone on long enough, and like so many subjects, I could talk and talk and talk. And you've got to stop at some point. But look, it's really important to think about what really matters in your life. Life goes past really bloody quickly. It really does. I'm 57 this year in a couple of months, and I look around and think, 57? Where the hell did that go? 57 years, my God! It's just so quick, and in some respects, a fleeting experience. So, make the best of it while you're here. Make the most of it for sure. And when I look at, for me, if I was to define what really makes me happy, what it comes down to is peace of mind. It might sound very boring to some people, but I tell you, peace of mind is, wow. yeah. It's just worth so much to you. I appreciate it's very easy to get caught up in when all your friends and family and all that are engaged in the same sort of thing, and chasing these goals of getting these houses or whatever it is. I appreciate it's easy to get caught up in all that. You've got to try and balance choices out. I've heard of people moving to locations where they've sold a house worth $500,000-$600,000, and bought a house worth bought a house at 1.2 or 1.4 million dollars. That's just a staggering amount of money to have to deal with and have to repay. I mean, you need a very, very good job to repay a mortgage like that over any decent period of time. And the average mortgage, by the way, just as a little, to throw an extra bit in here, the average mortgage costs you about double to pay back. So if you borrow 400, over the 20 years or whatever, you pay about 800. That's very rough figures. So your house has got to appreciate a lot in value for you to actually make any money out of it. Anyway, no doubt there's going to be a few comments about that when people hear it, and they've got to have their own opinions, and that's fair enough. That's what part of this is about, to sort of stimulate a bit of conversation about things too. But, final analysis, do your best. Do your best to live your life to its fullest, and don't get too caught up in all the material stuff, because it comes and it goes. Okay, live well and stay happy. Bye for now.